Good morning, campers. Spider emittent. Welcome to day 3 of my 4-day excursion doing the Limestone Way. It's been a wet night. It started raining pretty much as I'd settled down for the evening and didn't let up all night. It is still raining now. It's around about, let's have a look, what time is it? Around about 9:30 in the morning. I'm in no rush to get moving just yet. I reckon about 10 or 11 o'clock it's supposed to stop raining, but today's hike is only really about 4.5 hours, so I can get to my destination early evening. It's absolutely fine. So this morning I've just got the Trangia stove on, heating up some water. I'm going to have the chicken, sausages and beans, an army classic, which is about 411 calories. I've been doing a bit of research during the night and I think I've found a place where I can get lunch and a place I can go and get my dinner tonight. So I'm still pretty much going to get through all of this army stuff over the next couple of days, which is pretty cool. Although I think I will end up having curry for breakfast tomorrow morning, which is going to be interesting. But right now I'm going to get cooking, wait for this rain to stop, get myself packed up and then head out. But for now, let's try these beans. Right then, here we go. I'm not gonna stick it in a pan today because I'm not mixing two things together, so I'll just use my large army spork that they gave with the ration pack. There we go. One thing's for sure. That is a full-on sausage. I was expecting it to be like the normal tinned ones you get, tiny sausages. It's a full sausage. I mean, it's what you expect, innit? But it'll do. Let me tell you the plan for today. Once I get going, I think it's about 8.5 miles. I'm expecting it to take about 4 hours. I'm going from Ballidon here, Ballidon Moor Farm, from Ballidon, heading eventually to Swinscoe, which should take me via Parwich and Tissington, which is where I'm hoping to be able to pick up some lunch. I think there's like a little cafe in Tissington. And then I'm going to eat tonight in Swinscoe. If it's not looking good, I've still got food, so I'm alright. But that's the plan. Weather permitting, I'm expecting to get wet today, but today not from sweat, just from the general damp conditions around, whether that's from stuff falling out the sky or as I'm trudging through the fields. I'm probably expecting to get a bit wet today. Anyway, time for my breakfast and then we'll head out. Oh, also, I am going to make up this cola flavoured drink and stick it in one of my water bottles. So I've got something a little bit more interesting when I'm out and about. Bit of sugar, that'd be nice. Nice start to the day, got a llama for company. And then heading here, field full of cows to work my way past. Wish me luck. Well, I'm just in Parwich, near the Sycamore Inn. Yes, I'm in a kid's playground, but there's a bench to sit on. Winner. Must be a wedding going on. Playing all sorts of tunes on the church bells. I'm 2.5 miles in. I've been on the go for probably it must be over an hour. Realistically, I've probably got about another hour left to go before I reach Tissington, where I'm going to get my lunch. But I've enjoyed the walk so far. It's been okay. Few field of sheep, but other than that, pretty standard going. Pretty good. On to Tissington. I'm pretty sure that because I'm heading into a place called Thorpe, my guess is that that's possibly Thorpe Cloud, because I know we are near Dovedale and the Dovestones. So yeah, I'm guessing that peak up there is Thorpe Cloud that everybody's on. And just down here, hopefully, is the little village of Thorpe, which means I've only got one more village to go. That'll be Swinscoe. Oh my goodness. Oh, I've done a lot of just up over that hill. That was a big old stint. Anyway, I'm talking to you now because the Limestone Way carries on up between them trees, but that's not where I'm going. I'm about half a mile away from my campsite now in Swinscoe, although the whole rest of this route is uphill as well. So when I do get there, I'm going to be dropping my bag and collapsing, I think. Grab a shower, get the tent up, get myself prepared, and then see whether I've got the energy to walk into Swinscoe to the pub. We'll see. It's been a horrible walk, really, so far today, if I'm honest. I found it very difficult, and I don't know why. It's shorter today. Ultimately, there was less ups. It's been cooler weather. I don't know. Maybe I'm just tired. It is the end of the walk, so I'm supposed to be tired, right? Nearly at the end of day 4. End of day 3. Losing track, guys. Not bad. Not bad. From bag to every peg in its place. Ready for me to start chucking stuff inside. So in theory, if it was raining now, I could just whack everything inside there and sort out the blowing up later. I'm going to take that as a bit of a win. 11 minutes with tired legs and tired body, and pretty more importantly, tired brain. I made a few mistakes while I was setting that up, a few little things that didn't quite go right. But check out my view. I think that's some of Dovedale. Right, well, if you'll excuse me, I'm pitched up. I'm going to whack my bag inside there. I'm going to sort out, have a quick shower. And then we're nearly done for the day. Final morning. I'm having me pindi chana aloo for breakfast, curry for breakfast, and then what I've done, and this is maybe something I've seen on a video before, but definitely something Mrs. Bushcraft Dave said to me when I messaged her about what was inside the army kit. She said to me, because this cinnamon cake can be potentially quite dry and hard, dip it in some hot chocolate. We'll see that in a minute. Other than that, final stuff to do for today, other than packing up, is I'm going to make up the final little energy drink to kind of keep me going throughout the day. And then for lunch and snack, so for lunch I'm going to have the oatmeal block and the cheese. I've also got the peanuts, salted peanuts, to keep me going, and that'll be me done. I've already started packing away, as you may have seen. Doing well. It is a very, very misty morning, let me show you. So through that mist yesterday we could see the hills and of Dovedale beyond there, but it's incredibly misty. So yeah, one final journey. In fact, let me talk you through the rest of this. So let me show you what we've done over the course of yesterday and what I'm going to do today, which will complete the Limestone Way. So I started up here at Ballidon Moor Farm and rejoined the Limestone Way just here, walking uphill for a bit, but ultimately getting to Parwich, where we saw the church with the bells all going, which I think is probably, yeah, it is that church. And then from Parwich, walked across the Tissington Trail to get into Tissington, where I did stop and have some food and the milkshake, which I massively regret because I feel like all of that just made me feel uncomfortable for the rest of the journey and really sluggish. So from Tissington, we went all the way to Thorpe, that stretch wasn't too bad. And then from Thorpe, this was the worst bit of the journey, and it was right at the end. From Thorpe, we went downhill to the river, and then this section uphill here, going through the fields, was horrendous. And we eventually got to here, which is where I left the Limestone Way yesterday. So today I've got to walk towards Martin Hill, cross the A52, and as I cross the A52, heading down to Elliston and Lower Elliston. Now, I don't think I'll have a space to stop there. I mean, certainly not to eat. I'll probably stop and have a rest. But then we're heading from there, past Lower Elliston, and we walk following the course of the river from Lower Elliston, following the course of the river, until we get into, past the church, into Rocester and the end of the Limestone Way. Now, I was doing a bit of research last night. I haven't eaten yet because my food is still probably hotter than the face of the sun. I did some research last night into the Limestone Way, and it's not actually that old a route. Like, obviously the public footpaths and things will be, but there was an era in sort of the 1970s and 80s of this idea of creating a series of ways and long distance hikes across the UK. And this was about 1986 that this one was created. Initially just from Castleton to Matlock, and then later on the path from Matlock to Rocester was created to join it up to another trail, which I can't remember the name of right now. I'll get Mrs. Bushcraft Dave to stick it here. But a whole series of interconnecting trails and ways across the country. So yeah, not particularly an old route, but it seems to be pretty well walked at the minute. Cool, let's get on with this food. Now, I'm expecting this to taste like, I'm going to call it standard curry. One thing that they're certainly not shy of in these meals is fat and flavour. It's swimming, I can't even show you because it's just going to all pour out, but it's swimming in fat. But that's good for the power and the energy, isn't it? Now, as the name would suggest, Pindi Chana Aloo, potatoes, chickpeas. I feel like the aloo's spinach, innit? Now, let's have a look. Chickpea, tomato, onion, potato. Lots of spices. It's good. This fine mist that was over there a while ago is now here. Don't know whether you can even see it, but it is starting to just very lightly rain on me. So I'm going to bring my phone inside for a minute. Right, time to try this hot chocolate, which is hot and tastes like chocolate. Everything you'd expect. But the reason I made it up this morning, other than just power me up, is to try this block of cinnamon cake. Good. I am getting crumbs everywhere because I just destroyed it in its thing. Comes in a little bit of bacon parchment. To be fair, the cake on its own is pretty reasonable cake. And you know what? It looks so crumbly. I think if I chuck that in my hot chocolate, it's just going to do that thing like when you put a biscuit in a cup of tea and it just flops and falls apart. Let me try and get past this crumbly edge. Right. A crumbly cake dunked into the hot chocolate. The cinnamon in this cake is so overpowering, you can't really tell. Pretty good. I like it. Another one of these kilns, or a shelter. Looks like probably a kiln of sorts. Anyway, we're just about to rejoin the Limestone Way, just near that house. Well, here we are. I've just come down the hill from the common end farm, I think it was, that I was staying at. It was probably about half a mile, something like that, and I'm now just outside Woodhouse Farm, where I'm now rejoining the Limestone Way for the final section of my journey. It is a fairly damp, wet, misty kind of morning, but I'm just trying to get some miles under my feet while I'm feeling energetic-ish. See how it goes. Just found the first signpost for the Limestone Way in probably about 1.5 miles, something like that. Look who I've just had come to visit me. Just walking down that field, a whole lot ran off from the other side of me that were just lying down. And then these lot have got very inquisitive. Get down. So yeah, they've all got up and were wanting to come and say hello. Right, I've made it to my first main road. I'm going to cross over the A52. Well, to say I'm a little bit scared is an understatement. I have just come through this field of cows, and this one was right next to this gate as I walked through it. Hang on, let me get through the other one. So they were all down this side of the field. That's the gate I've just had to come through. Morning. Wow, that was incredibly daunting and scary. I only just got through before this big one with small horns stuck its head through the gate. Sorry guys, no food for you from me. Hey guys. Right then, I have been walking for 2 hours, 40 minutes without stopping. I felt good. There was like kind of a few little points along the way that I was like, well, I'll get to that, see how I'm feeling. So that really leaves me with just under an hour left to go. This has got that army ration lime energy drink. So what with that, possibly going to crack into the peanuts, but I'm certainly going to have the biscuit and the cheese, and then I should be good to go for the last hour. I met 2 other guys hiking the other way, so they'd started at Rocester. They probably met me, it's probably about 3 or 4 miles into their walk from Rocester, and they're doing the Limestone Way going the other way, and their plan was to get to Matlock Bath today, which is a heckish big stint. I mean, I've done Matlock to Rocester over 3 days. They're doing it all in one, but they looked like guys who knew what they were doing. And do you know what, sometimes I think you've got to stick to whatever your limits are. You know, I figured out sort of how long I was going to be happy walking in a day, the amount of distance I was happy to do, and I'm pretty happy with what I've picked. So, you know, it was about 9 miles each day. They're probably clocking in at it could easily be a 20-mile day for them today. I can't do that. So anyway, let's try this. We've got the oatmeal block. One massive, well, it's already broken up, of course it has. Which I'm gonna eat with some of this cheese. 176 calories in the cheese. Well, that's great. Energy per 100 grams. Okay, so it's 125 for the oatmeal, 176 for the cheese. So it's making this about 300 calories as my lunch, which is pretty good. Considering that these really in the army ration pack are this is a snack really. Massive amount of cheese. Let's have some cheese on that oatmeal block. You know them cheese squares you get wrapped in plastic? It's like a fat one of those. But it'll do. It'll power me up. What else have I got? And these salted nuts. Wow. Just over 300 calories in these nuts. I might save them, to be honest. I've only got an hour to go. Well, I might keep out one of these little mints as well, because Mrs. Bushcraft Dave and the children are picking me up, and I don't want to meet them with big cheesy oat bread breath, do I? So right, I'm going to munch this up. I'll see you shortly. Right, I'm into the last home stretch now of the Limestone Way, and I thought it was a good idea, seeing as I was at the end of it, to sort of give my thoughts, overview, memories and stuff. First of all, I've really loved doing it. Like, I think often I just go out and do a walk, and so I think to do something that was a bit more challenging, and I know that there are people who do much harder challenges than I've done, but you know, I'm fairly new to this hiking game and doing long distance stuff and multi-day, so I'm glad I've done it. It has been hard, I'm not gonna lie. There's been moments where it's been easy going, there's been moments where I've just had enough, but right now, as I'm coming to the end of it, I feel really proud of what I've done. Over the course of 4 days this time, I've done about 34 miles, which is pretty good. I can't remember the first 3 days that I did. I think if I was to do this again, and I'm not sure that I ever will, because there's so much more of the country to explore, that I think if I was to do it again, I would probably try and just extend the days a little bit more. and so probably aim to do it in 6 days, not 7. So I've done 6 nights altogether on this sort of Limestone Way trip, and it definitely can be done shorter. But you know, some of the days, even on this stretch that I've done, I probably struggled to have another half a mile in my legs. I'm sure I could have gone another 2 miles if I'd needed to, if that was where the next campsite was. So right now I'm heading to, probably see just behind me, I'm pretty sure that JCB World Headquarters is where hopefully Mrs. Bushcraft Dave and the children are waiting to pick me up. Oh, a couple of thoughts and observations on the walk. So most of the time it's pretty well signposted. You can see the Limestone Way symbol, the sheep's head, ram's head, but other times it sort of disappears. And also the stiles to get over, or the gaps in the wall to get through, they're really hard work. Like, I'm not a thin person, but I'm not a big person either, and sometimes to get through some of the openings in the stonework were particularly challenging. Like, I almost had to lean back, throw my leg over the top, and then sort of, but I certainly couldn't get my legs through it. And even some of the stiles that I was having to get over, the step to get over was a lot for my little legs. So if you are of the shorter stature and of the slightly more, let's say, muscular stature, but I think you know what I'm saying, the stiles and things like that can be a bit challenging. And the only other thing that I wanted to say really is that I noticed how many of the gates and the sections of stile that you come through, how many of them were not getting shut by people going through them. Their little latches not being connected. I know there are some spaces where the latches and stuff, the little clip doesn't go anywhere near where the hoop is, but on all the ones that it could do, there's so many left open. So if you are walking through the countryside, please shut the gates properly, because they've got those latches on for a reason. But other than that, it's got a bit windy as I come on this path. I'm going home, and maybe some more footage yet, but if not, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed the Limestone Way and the travels, and we'll see you in the next one. There's my taxi. Now we have it. The end of the Limestone Way. Right, I'm going to get in my car and go home. See you later. Oh, excuse me.